In this video, I'll demonstrate how you can make a warm and cool paper weaving. Let's fold our paper in half so that one side can be filled with warm colors and the other side can be filled with cool colors. To make the tissue paper come off onto the paper, wet your paper first with water. Put the tissue paper on top and then use a little more water again over the tissue paper. Got it? Water, tissue paper, and then a little water again. Let your tissue papers remain on the paper and just let them dry. On another day, when we start making the paper weaving, I'll show you how to take the tissue papers off. Keep one hand nice and clean and dry, because if your hand gets wet, the tissue papers stick all over your fingers and you'll get ink everywhere. So try to keep your hands kind of clean. Have fun making your tissue paper background, and we'll show you how to start weaving later. Now it's time to carefully remove all of the tissue paper. Make sure it doesn't end up all over the place. Once they're all off of your paper, sweep the tissue paper into a pile and then brush them back on your paper and carry it like a tray to the trash can. Let's cut our paper in half down the center. Cut evenly and make sure your cuts are straight. One of these papers is going to turn into a loom. A loom is what we use to weave a bunch of paper strips into. This paper is going to be the loom. We're going to fold it in half. After you fold it in half, position it with the open side up There are 2 open sides on each side, and the open side is at the very top. We're going to make a straight line across the top horizontally so that when we cut into the paper, we know where to stop. Make sure you line up your piece of cardboard straight and even with the edge. Hold it down and then make your line. Now we're going to draw 7 straight lines that are vertical. They stop at the line we made that went across. Use your cardboard to line it up at the very edge to start. Make sure it is straight. If you look at the very edge, it should look even and straight. Hold it down and make your line. Keep repeating this by lining up the cardboard right next to each line. It's even with the line you just drew. Sometimes the cardboard wiggles, so hold it with at least 2 fingers and then drag the pencil on the other side. This is a new skill, so it takes some practice to get comfortable with it. Just do your best to make nice, straight, even lines. Vertically, straight up and down, and then stop right when you get to the first line that you made that went all the way across your paper. As you cut each line, pay close attention to where to stop. Now the loom is done. Set it aside, but position it with the bumpy side up. See how it looks kind of like a tent? When we weave later, it's easier to pick it up, so have it with the tent side, triangle side up. Before we weave, we need to make strips from the other piece of paper. First, line up your cardboard at the very edge and make straight lines evenly across your paper again. It's just like before, but this time we will cut all the way to the top so that we have 7 pieces. These pieces are long. They are not made on the shorter side of the paper. Notice that the paper is going tall up and down. When you're done, you should have 7. When weaving, we make the strip go under and over each line of the loom. These lines are called the warp. The first strip should start under the very end of the warp, so it's under, then over, under, then over, under, over, under, over. To go over, you basically just pass it through, but to go under, you pick it up and then slide it under. See how I'm picking up the loom? Check your pattern, and when it's right, slide it all the way to the edge. Use your nails as you slide the paper up all the way to the side. Begin with the second strip, starting on the top this time. It's starting on the very end of the loom on the top. See right there, it's on the top? You can weave in the middle if it's easier. It's easier to pick up the paper when it's that little tent shape. There it is on top, then under the second. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Check your pattern each time. You'll probably find a mistake. Uh-oh, right there, the strip went over, so I pull it back and I reset the pattern to do it right. It's important that you check or your weaving will not hold together. It looks right, so now I slide it against the first. Each strip is opposite. It's going to start looking like a checkerboard. Continue weaving until all of your strips are used up, and then I'll teach you how to finalize it and make it look finished. Happy weaving!